We use AI tools across a number of different areas of our business in order to make our workflows more efficient and to help ensure the consistency of the work we do. But one of the areas of AI in particular that we're interested in determining was how feasible they were to use for advice and guidance beyond just being told to produce output. And so we're in the process of adding a network restructure of sorts to our office, which included the addition of a Raspberry Pi add-on to use as our DNS server to be able to modify the traffic that comes through the business. Now, most of us here at Vandalist know enough about IT and networks and can follow instructions that to do a setup like that wasn't horrifically complicated, but at the same time, we wanted to understand how useful the premium AI tools were in order to help us put something like this together, basically to use it as a test case for how helpful it can actually be. And we were using ChatGPT, Copilot Premium and Google Gemini Premium to do this. And what we found was that the information that was being provided to us was actually generally pretty awful. When we were asking about settings and configurations for particular devices, the information that were being provided was often inaccurate. The advice and the suggestions in order to solve problems around things like clashing IP addresses or potential gateway conflicts and things like that, the information again that were being provided was inaccurate and actually causing issues within the network that we're creating. The general understanding of connecting the Raspberry Pi device to the network was extremely limited, but in the sense that advice was still being provided to us, but not without, I guess, the preface of noting that the information may be limited. And then in addition to that, we also found that a lot of the advice and suggestions that were being provided by the AI platforms were actually coming from blog posts and forum submissions that we had posted ourselves as a business over the last couple of years, either for search engine optimization benefits or to solve some of our own problems internally. So we're essentially having our questions fed back to us as advice from these AI tools, which was kind of unusual. So I guess the takeaway for us was that, which I suspect is not uncommon and probably something that most AI users, particularly the chatbot style AI users, are already aware of, is that they're only as good as the information that they have access to. And now if we consider how broken the modern internet is in terms of misinformation and certain echo chambers being created in certain parts of the internet, as well as a complete lack of fact checking and the ability to identify fake news, for lack of a better way of putting it, that information is essentially being recycled back to us. So again, the takeaway for us was that these AI tools are amazing when it comes to really simplified, time-saving activities, but actually getting advice around how to put plans together and execute things specifically, it is still extremely limited. In addition to that, on a side project, we asked Google Gemini to help us put together some material for some really basic Google ads, given that they're from the same family and all live in the same ecosystem. And again, the advice that were provided was extremely limited, was inconsistent with the information that Google sends out via their Google Ads blog material. And when we asked more specific questions around audience configuration and more specific settings around regional access and things like that, it simply didn't know, which we found extraordinary in that particular case. So in terms of being able to do a lot of the heavy lifting and create a lot of work that is essentially a time-based task rather than a talent-based task, these tools are incredible. But for now, these tools just don't have the specific intelligence and intellect to be able to provide advice or guidance or expertise beyond recycling what's already available on the internet. Thank you for watching. Keep an eye on our social media channels for more marketing tips and observations.